This is Stickers. She is a 68 Mustang, came in from Minnesota over the weekend through the snowstorm. She had a little bit of front end damage over the last couple of years, stripped it down, and the customer was getting ready to do some repairs on the strut tower when she noticed a few other issues, some more evidence of collisions that she had in the past. So she came in. We're actually going to rip the entire front off of this thing, put new inner fenders on, new core support, get it sprayed down with a new coat of satin black from KBS, and get it ready because the next time she comes in, she'll be getting a brand new motor and tranny. We hacked the inner fender off and the front core support off. Actually went through, drilled out all of the factory spot welds. I'm going to hit this with a flap wheel and the wire wheel, get it all cleaned up back to metal, make sure there isn't any defects or anything in it that we have to worry about. We do have access to a frame rail if anything's wrong with it, but not my plan at the moment. So I'm going to get this cleaned up, get the new one tacked into place, and then we'll jump in on the other side. The new ones that we got are actually really nice. You can see this extra piece of 3/16 steel that wraps around on the newer ones, and that will keep this from happening on the originals. See where it's all cracked? This is our problem. So once we get the new ones on, that will be handled and she'll be ready for some horsepower. So the passenger side is all cleaned up. We got this wire wheeled and flap wheeled. It looks beautiful, solid. All the spot welds are still intact. Everything looks good. Got most of the old nasty paint off. So this side is just ready to get wiped down really well with the wire brush, some wax and grease remover, Scotch-Brite, and hit with some primer. This side, we are going to repeat what we just did on the passenger side. I'm going to cut the big chunks off so I can really get in there, get all these spot welds cut out. We'll get it all wire wheeled and cleaned up. And next step will be to knock out a few spot welds and get rid of that frame section on here and start tacking the new strut towers and inner fenders into the car. So I moved the camera over here so you can see how I'm getting these out. So I just have a standard spot weld cutter, 1/8 inch drill bit. Now these cutters come with a punch, but I find this works way better. Just enough to get a good point in it. If you've ever used one of these things before, the people that have used them make it look really easy. If you've never used one, they suck. So using that little bit to center it really helps. And then when you get started on this, if you go real slow, very light pressure till it starts cutting, then you can start to push. Looks easy. I missed one, but it only looks easy because I've had a lot of practice. So I missed that one because I've got a piece of fuel line here I'm trying to save. And I didn't want to smack it with the wheel. That's real easy to go back if you miss one. Now if you think you missed one, don't bend this all up trying to fight it first, because then it won't be a thing. Alright, back to it. We'll get the rest. Alright, we got stickers all cleaned up. It's brand new inner fenders, brand new core support, all measured, squared, ready to go, and sprayed satin black with KBS. So we are getting ready to reassemble all of the suspension, get that all back together, and then throw the front sheet metal on and get this back over so she can sit and wait for the motor and tranny to show up. doesn't seem like it looks a whole lot different than it did yesterday. We had some painting on a bike to do, so we got that done. And then got the front suspension all reassembled on here. We were getting ready to rehang the sheet metal, went in the trunk, pulled out a bunch of the brackets, and realized that they weren't in horrible shape, but they were pretty ugly. And now that we have all the inner fenders and everything painted, we're just going to take the extra few minutes and blast those splash shields and the brackets and the bumper brackets and just throw a quick coat of KBS on them so they look nice. So there's stickers all back together, all of the inner fenders, core support, all that stuff's redone. Got everything lined up best we could. There was a lot of bent pieces, a lot of missing pieces, a few cobbled pieces, and some that were just ridiculous. But fixed up most of the mounting points we come up with, made a list of any missing parts that we've got to get her moving, and we're going to get that motor and transmission ordered, and you'll see her again in a couple of months.